Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I have here an article coming from the United States of America, if you can believe that. And it seems like Zelensky made some statements that are very serious, but on the other hand, I don't think he really believes in what he says. Striking, right? So this article comes from CBS News from Sunday, September 25th, 2022, and this is the title. I don't think he's bluffing. Zelensky says Putin's nuclear threats, quote unquote, could be a reality. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russian President Vladimir Putin wants to scare the whole world through his hints at the use of nuclear weapons. Well, if you say that I don't think he's bluffing and could be a reality, if you really think that he's not bluffing, then why do you ask for things that will definitely move him in that direction? So if I tell you, hey, Michael, if you do this to me, this particular one thing to me, then I will walk towards you and try to beat you up. And you say, well, I think Emil is serious about it, and he does exactly that one thing that I told him that the consequences will be a beating, or an attempt at least, because I might get beaten, okay? And he's doing exactly that, and looks me in the eyes and does that. What would that tell you? That person really doesn't either believe that I'm going to do it, or he just dares me. Now, this is not about a beating, this is about a nuclear weapon that we're talking about here. So I don't think Zelensky believes or thinks that Putin really means it, that he's not bluffing, because if that would be the case, he and his staff would not call on the Americans and everybody else to send him, for instance, attack MC, whatever, long-range missile systems that would hit 300 kilometers, that's the range. They would not ask for that. They would not ask for tanks, because all these two, and airplanes, these three things, Russia said that this is a red line, and that could go towards that. And you're asking for them. So it's like, don't call me, I don't know, boy. If you call me boy, I do this. And you look and say, boy. What? Okay. So then I'm going to do what I said I will do. Unless I'm a chicken and my bluff, I mean, not my bluff, whatever I stated I'm not bluffing, actually I'm bluffing because I'm not going to go through with it. I'm not follow through with it. I'm not waiting for the Russians to do anything to the Ukrainians. I hope that this operation, this war, should not have started in the first place. That's how it was supposed to be, not start. The Ukrainians and the Russians, if they would have been independent, I'm talking about Ukrainians, would have been able to figure things out, the Russians. With the Russian population living in the east side, unless we buy the narrative that the Russians would have taken that part, that side of Ukraine anyway. Well, I do not subscribe to that point of view, because Russia could have done it earlier if they really wanted, before Ukraine got armed by the United States all these years. But they didn't. Now you can say, well, why did they do it right now after 8 years, right? After 2014 and to 2022, after the Minsk agreements. Say, why would that be the case? Because the other side said they're going to bring the country into NATO, which meant that the next day there will be NATO infrastructure at the border with Russia in Ukraine. And if you think, or if you would argue, so what? Then would be okay if the Russians would put, let's say, some rockets in Cuba, the same missiles, or would put in, I don't know, let's say Mexico, I'm just giving an example, or Canada. Nothing wrong, everything would be perfect. The United States would not be upset a bit if that things would be reversed, correct? No. So that tells you that that's not just. Why? Because justice is applied to everyone in the same way under the same circumstances. So if I say something and I'm punished for what I said, if you say the same thing I said, right, in the same, you should be punished the same way. But obviously these guys that yell now at Putin and Russia that you're doing this and you're doing this and this, they've done that before. Not once, more than one time. So besides the fact that this is hypocritical, they, Americans and this American government, not American people, American government supported traitors in Ukraine in 2014. And those traitors, with the help of outside forces and interests, overthrew a legitimate, democratically elected government of Ukraine, which was looking left and right. It was democratically elected. Imagine that right now in Kiev there would be, I don't know, some individuals would take power. We're just going to kill everyone or just spread everybody around and say, okay, we are now the boss here. With the help of, let's say, France. Would that be acceptable? No, because that's, those are traitors. If you work with outside help in order to overthrow a legitimate, democratically elected government, you're a traitor. That means you're either shot or hanged. It depends what the punishment is in each country, but you get death penalty, sooner or later, because that's what happens in these kind of situations, at least in the normal countries, I would say. And not normal, you just don't do anything to them and they will try again, So I think that, as I said, Zelensky doesn't really believe that. And if he believes that and he's still doing that, what he's doing, that means he's suicidal. And he's not going to be destroyed. He's going to be okay. The problem is the nation that he is in charge of is going to be destroyed. And I don't think that certain people, really care too much about that, because otherwise they will not work into, ABC 1, 2, 3. If you do this, I'm going to do this. And the Russians, whereas I said many times, are very consistent. They have a very high rating in consistency department. That means good or bad. When they say they're going to give you $1, they gave you $1. When they say they're going to punch you in the face, they punched you in the face. So good or bad, I would pay attention, including right now, because we're not talking about, conventional weapons. We're talking about nuclear weapons, weapons of mass destruction. And if those guys are telling you something, I would pay attention. But these guys, I don't know what they're trying to say. I don't know. There's some people who just want to have the second coming or something, and they force the things going that way, or what? And if that would be the case, then I don't know. Not all of us are subscribing to that kind of, ideology. So what about us? They don't care. Not about us or about you. Don't worry about that one. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.